Hey everyone, this is Franco with MyNurish. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm really excited to be honest with you about this year for so many different reasons. One of which is this whole new segment that we're doing with our customers to learn more about their inspirational, authentic stories on how they have started to change their lives or have changed their lives with taking better care of themselves, body, mind, and even spirit. And so I can't think of a better person to do this with for the first segment in 2023 than Nicole, who is with us. Nicole has been a customer with us for quite some time. And rather than me talking throughout this whole segment, I'm just going to start moving it over to her. Hi, Nicole. How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Franco. I'm doing great.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, listen, you have such a great story to talk about. And I guess I just want to get started with I'm trying to remember how long has it been since you've actually been with Nourish and the MyNurish products?
It's been probably 2011 because
Whoa.
we saw Bob in the Whole Foods for a demonstration. And
And Bob, just for everybody who doesn't know, Bob is one of the co-owners of Nourish. And back in the day, we used to do quite a bit of demonstrating at places like Whole Foods. And so yeah, so you met him at a store in the Twin Cities.
yes, the Edina store. And I was with my husband, and I have talked to him about spirulina and everything under the sun that could help as far as a drink that was green. And he's not interested. He tried and you go, ick, ugh, not good. But then when he tried this wonderful green energy drink, he was hooked. And I was like, wow. But we also heard Bob's story, which was really wonderful and really reiterated about what this did for him. And I already felt that with this, I could tell that it was going to be a wonderful product to put into our routine.
So when he was demonstrating out there, and I did many of those as well. Bob would share his story because we all have our stories, right? Which is why we're doing these testimonials. And that was that he had really managed to really take full control of his diabetes.
Yes.
Was that the defining moment for you? Or what were you doing besides trying to get your husband to do more greens drinks? What was it about the whole topic that was getting you inspired to do something not just for him but for yourself? Was there something going
Oh,
on in your life?
yeah. Part of it was for me, we were living in Kauai then. So I had a lot of opportunity to try different things. And part of it for me on this one was for definitely for him. But then when I looked at it and started researching it and actually feeling it vibrationally, so I'm sensitive to a lot of foods and different things. And this was really felt good in my body, and my body really accepted it. And I remember for me, it really helped my digestive system right away.
That
It helped
yeah,
it and
that
heart.
that's what I hear from a lot of people. That's one of the reasons why we designed it. But tell me a little bit more about how that affected you in terms of your body.
It affected me. I felt more energy. That was first and foremost was more energy. And then also was the digestion and overall good feeling. And I felt confident in the product because there's so many products out there. So I really felt there was a frequency, if you will, or vibration that I could feel within it. And now that it has the 70 minerals in there, it's
Yeah.
higher in frequency, if you want to use it that way. That's my term. But I can feel it in my body. I can actually feel what it's doing in my body, and it's so good for all of the cells and your DNA and all of your organs and your digestive, all of your systems, not just
Yeah.
digest, even mental health.
And you've touched on a couple of things that for those who are, tuning into this and watching it, I think it's important that we kind of take a step back and just clarify. I've known Nicole for the last 8 or 9 years of those 11 years that you're talking about. You've always corresponded with us. You've always told us, what you were feeling and how much you were enjoying the product. And you were such a big fan of ours. You would just spread the word to neighbors and friends, no matter where you were living. We would all of a sudden see orders coming in Florida, and we go, "Oh, Nicole must be there," because because we weren't getting anything before then. So we know how much you believe in it. But one of the things that makes you unique to most people that are taking our product is that you understand this whole practice of energy and frequency. And I know for a lot of people that's a little bit abstract, and a lot of people don't even necessarily buy into that. But there's a lot of good science now for those who really need it that really demonstrates that we have to take the energy frequencies in our body very seriously as we're creating things to help heal it, because our bodies are, simply put, energy, and and it has different frequencies to it. But for you, it's because you also practice that as an alternative practitioner, healer. Is that correct?
That's correct. And I have, well, kind of since I was little, I was doing some things that I realize now with little counseling. There was always just this little voice that would tell me to share this with somebody, even my little kindergarten friends. but I've also I've had a lot of practice in traditional Chinese medicine. So I took courses in that and Reiki master, both intuitive and traditional, if you will, and just really trusting in different things that I'm guided to. So a lot of different energy work, I guess I would say, and just really trying to open up myself and my heart to do what's best for whoever comes to see me. In
Yeah.
this
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
in all levels. So it could be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. So it's all levels.
And obviously, in all those levels, we know that your body, your mental body, as well as your physical body, are sort of the shrine, the temple that you exist within, and you really need to acknowledge those, at least those two aspects, if not the spiritual aspect as well, and really treat it with as much love and care. And nutrition is a huge piece, especially this type of nutrition, which is organic and natural by nature, and really tries to address all sorts of maladies and imbalances through frequencies. Even though we never talk about this, and you probably won't hear me talking too much about this, but when you have somebody like Nicole on today, it's not hard to get into that discussion, because there is a whole world of discussion about how the body needs to be balanced out. And we understand it, and that's one of the things that we looked into when we were developing the product. So I'm glad to hear that you're actually a living example of how somebody has really taken that to heart, and not only done it for yourself, but shared it with others, friends, and as well as clients that you work with. Let me ask you, you've been doing it for 10, 11 years now. You just mentioned before we got on that your husband has had some great results. Didn't know this one, but you were saying that you actually had him started on the beta glucan, which we don't talk too much about, but that's another superfood blend. It's so powerful that we actually just made it its own product rather than mixing it in with the other superfood ingredients. Tell me, what was the experience? What happened with him?
Well, not just him, but then once he had this and realized the results, also another friend of ours, but he was taking both products, and he had a blood test, and from his last blood test to the blood test after the beta gluten, his points in the LDL went
Yeah.
way, and he's had a heart attack and different things. So his levels were high. So it went down, and I want to say it was almost 100 that it went down.
So his LDL went down 100 points.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was the only thing he changed was the beta gluten. And then another friend in Florida who also had heart issues, I got him doing the beta gluten and his levels went down as well.
And I never know how these conversations are going to go. We don't, try to script these out or anything like that. We get on and we start talking just minutes before we got on. And you told me the story about the beta glucan, and we ourselves often get sort of wrapped up in the greens and in the essential minerals, which I want to talk about in a few seconds here. But the beta glucan is just an incredibly powerful blend, and we even go as far as guaranteeing. And this is like a big no-no in the nutrition world. We actually go as far as guaranteeing that if you take the beta glucan, your LDL levels will drop significantly. If you give it just a little bit of time, 30, 60, 90 days, and you won't have to necessarily rely on some of the statin type of products that are out there, because those always come with, as we all know from the lovely commercials that we see on television, just all sorts of disclaimers. And so the beta glucan, we tell people it will lower it will lower your LDL. We tell them that it boost your immune system, and it's just exciting to hear that
Yeah.
you're experiencing it firsthand with people that you know and care about.
Yes. No, that was amazing. And he was like, wow. Because men, not just you, you're out of this, but a lot of people, I will say in general, can be a little bit more skeptical sometimes. So having the green energy with the beta gluten, because he would do both at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, and I have to, I have to admit, men are a little bit more cynical about doing things to better their health and what those things are that could help them improve their health. And so it typically requires someone like the woman in the household, if there is one, to kind of encourage the men to come on board, because it really doesn't have to be rocket science. I mean, for us, it's rocket science because we have to keep up with the research and know what's going on out there. But for you guys, if you put a little bit of faith in us, and many people have, we usually do keep all of those pieces in mind when we're putting together products, so that people really do actually, as we always say, it's nutrition you can feel. If you can't feel your nutrition, then it's not really doing anything for you, despite what anybody might be telling you. Nutrition should be something you feel, and what you should feel is a state of well-being. So you also have been doing the essential minerals,
Yeah.
and I mean, you are basically the ambassador of all of our products because you really believe in them. And tell me a little bit more about what's going on there.
The essential minerals, I've had other products that have had minerals, and we know these times, especially, unfortunately, we cannot get minerals from our food.
Right, right. I mean, I think most people, know that, but they don't really understand the importance of what you just said. But yes,
Yeah.
mineral depletion is significant, and unfortunately, it's only getting worse. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no. So to have a product like this is amazing. And again, I will say for myself, those of you that are aware of a little bit of frequency or vibration, if you just even hold it to your heart and just ask your body, not your mind. So you kind of have to clear your mind out a little bit, because your mind's going to want to say whatever it wants to say. But if you
Right.
body, like ask your body, is this good for me? And just tune in. A lot of times you'll find yourself moving forward or backward, which is kind of an indication of, yes, it is, my body wants this. But if you do that and just hold it, there's such a, I want to say vibration, but when you think of minerals in the ground, in the earth, there's so much going on under the earth that we're not aware of, that is vibration and
Yeah.
frequency. There's like an energy to it, and your body can feel that, and your body can know exactly what to do with each mineral.
Yeah, and again, here again, in putting it a little bit just a tiny bit more in layperson's perspective, everything, regardless of whether or not you agree that it has any relevance to your health, but everything is frequency and energy. And the more we can understand that in the way we create our nutritional products, and I'll tell you right now that I'll go out on the deep end here and say that the reason why why there are so many disclaimers to all of these pharmaceutical products is because they address just the symptoms of the problem, and because they do just that alone, they're not lining up the proper, because a lot of these pharmaceuticals are actually made from natural products, but then they synthesize them and they process them in ways that just aren't natural anymore. And what happens is the frequency gets all whacked out. And so what happens is that you might be able to address a little bit of the symptoms, but then you're so out of line with the rest of the body in terms of the rest of the frequencies that pharmaceutical offers, that you have all of these other ailments that you're now creating as a result of it. And people haven't made that connection. And why? Because they just don't really talk that language about frequency and energy. And so for this segment, we will, just to help people understand that there is something to it. And it's not just, voodoo medicine or whatever. There's actually a
Right.
lot of science to this that actually is now being seriously looked at in terms of how all types of products, whether they're nutritional or pharmaceutical, are created. And so, again, having you explain it in the way that you do is perfect, because that's the way that you treat yourself and the people that you treat every day with, in terms of how you approach their ailments. Excuse me. One, I guess as we sort of kind of wrap this up a little bit, we're heading into a whole new year. We're in it already, 2023. And people are so full of resolutions. And honestly, I really believe that this is going to be an extraordinary year for things like this, for healing and whatnot. What would you tell people, as both a user of our product and just the knowledge that you have, wisdom that you have as an alternative practitioner? What would you tell them if you had one thing you could share with them in terms of the message of nutrition?
Of nutrition,
Yeah,
I would mention is listen to your body, and it's your body, but you're also listening to your emotional body, because it could be an unemotional end or a mental end, or even, so I'll go to say, a spiritual end, and kind of ask yourself to be guided with products and just feel into them and allow yourself to take some time and see what your results might be. And it might be very subtle, and for some it might be very subtle, but you might just have a general lighter step or more energy, and others it might be, it might be a little bit more intense, where you're feeling your body release some things, from kind of like a little detox or something, because that's what it does. It's going to pull out the bad and bring in the good,
yeah.
bring in the superfood with the nourish products.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more. And I'm glad you brought that up towards the end about the detoxing. There's just so much that people don't understand about detoxing, and I'm not saying that by any means that we're professionals, experts at it either. But what I do know is that it's pretty common sense, right? Everything is just pretty common sense. If you have something like our products that were designed to help push, but because of the frequency, push those negative aspects of what's going on in your body, the
Yes.
toxins, and the free radicals out of your body, if it could push those things out. And in addition, because the other part of detoxing isn't just getting those things out. What happens is a lot of people push those things out and they don't put anything back in when they're detoxing. And those things, and our products they're designed to fill your body up immediately with the nutrition that you need. So you're pushing things out, putting good things in. And to your point, for some people, it may take a little longer. For some people, they may not feel those effects right away. But if you stick with it, and like with you and others who have been with us for so many years and are experiencing relatively good health because of it, you will get results. And so if there's anything, I suppose, that we can get from all of this is, just set your mind to it, to do something, and just stick with it. Have the faith to stick with it for a while. Don't give up on it just because all of a sudden it didn't do something to you the very first time you drank it, or the second or the third. And certainly don't make taste, which we worked really hard on. We worked really hard on making the taste really good. Don't let that be a hindrance to your good health. I mean, is that a fair assessment? I know I'm kind of putting words in your mouth,
Oh,
but
that's why my husband tried it, because I've had him on spirulina shots and wheatgrass, and he's like, no. And then he tasted this. He goes, this is good. I said, okay, let's do it, because he really liked the taste, but then he also felt the results. So that's the big thing is and to really just trust yourself. Trust. Do this for yourself. You can talk yourself out of why you're not going to do it, or this or that, but really my message would be is try it and do it for yourself, and let yourself really feel, and you'll know, because
yeah.
it's going to.
Well, thank you, Nicole. Thanks so much. That last little bit there about the taste and your husband, we always tell people that the biggest babies are not the little 5-year-olds, it's the adults, because they just really have a hard time with all the years of being told how bad tasting vegetables could be and superfoods could be. They struggle sometimes, men particularly, but women too. So I'm glad to see that he overcame that. Just out of curiosity, how does he take it? Does he take it straight up in water, or does he mix it with something?
Actually, he'll take the superfoods in water and put the beta gluten in there.
So it kind of softens it. I know that people have told me that, when they do that, and we encourage people to take it. In fact, one other thing that I should also mention, I've been wanting to mention, is that when you do the essential minerals, because we don't talk about the essential minerals as much yet, when you do the essential minerals, because they're made out of a vegetable-based capsule filler, not really filler, but the capsule itself is vegetable based. So you can actually just throw that into the blend, mix it in with the rest of the blends. It breaks down easily. It's harmless. And I know a lot of people who are dealing with not being able to swallow capsules. You don't have to do anything. Just throw the capsules in, blend it up with the beta glucan, whatever kind of juice or water you want, and away you go. And the superfoods. So anyway, I want to thank you for the time you've taken, especially since this is right at the beginning, and you're taking your day off and you decided to join us to do this. I really, really appreciate it. You've been such a big fan of ours for so long. Love how much you really believe in our product, and I hope that comes through in this video. So thank you again, Nicole. Have a great 2023, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Okay, thank you, Franco.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.